John Thacker, and Home Alone. A classic holiday movie that's made people laugh, cry. It's been a staple of the holiday season for the past 25 years. And it's not hard to see why. With a simple premise, an amazing cast, an amazing score by John Williams, and an amazing director by Chris Columbus, it makes sense. Even after 25 years, Home Alone continues to be a classic that will entertain people for years and years and years to come. And then we have the other Home Alone movies. Most of you are probably aware of Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. In my opinion, a good movie and an okay sequel to Home Alone. And points for Tim Curry, of course.
Housekeeping.
Pizza. Have a lovely day.
I love you.
Hundreds of parasites out there, armed to the teeth. Do bundle up, it's awfully cold outside.
But did you know about Home Alone 3? Or 4? Or 5? Or 6? Yeah, the Home Alone franchise, which just feels wrong to say, has 6 installments. So now you're probably wondering, well, Gary Don, how are the rest of the Home Alone movies? I mean, they're bad, but you were expected that. Like, they can't be good. And well, to figure that out, I guess, fully, we have to go back to the very beginning of Home Alone to find out what led to this franchise that shouldn't be a franchise. Our story begins in 1989 when the film Uncle Buck was released. Directed by John Hughes, who wrote the screenplay for Home Alone. And would you know, one of the stars of that film was Macaulay Culkin. There's a brief scene in the movie where Macaulay Culkin's character imagines burglars trying to break into his house. And that one scene gave John Hughes inspiration for Home Alone. So John Hughes wrote the script, Chris Columbus was gone to direct, and 20th Century Fox would release it. And Macaulay Culkin would star in the film as Kevin McAllister. A year later, in 1990, we would get Home Alone. And as we all well know, it was a huge critical and financial success. Now I'll make this clear. Just because a movie does well financially, and even critically, does not mean it necessarily has to get a sequel. Many movies that are extraordinarily well have never gotten a sequel. And most of these are standalone movies. A movie where once the story is finished, that's it. They can't really continue on, and if you tried, it wouldn't make sense. And Home Alone is pretty much an example of a standalone movie. Wet bandits, arrested. Family, back home. Kevin, no longer home alone. Boom, done. But because money exists in 1992, we get Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. With generally mixed reviews, and the box office that was still good, but nowhere near as good as the first Home Alone. With the returning cast and crew from the first movie. Many accuse this film of just being a carbon copy of the first Home Alone, just in New York, and I mean, yeah, that's exactly what it is. I don't think it's fun and enjoyable, but it was pretty darn clear that you can't make a sequel to Home Alone. It just can't really work. In 1997, we get Home Alone 3. Directed by Roger Gosnell and was screenplayed by John Hughes. With another cast from the first movie, and it's about spies. I wish I could say it's a joke, but sadly it's really not. Yes, surprisingly absolutely no one, Home Alone 3 is not very good. With a box office that crumbles in comparison to Home Alone 1 and 2. And while it has made back its budget, not by a whole lot. It definitely did not do well critically. Home Alone 3 would be the last Home Alone movie released theatrically. Then in 2002 we got Home Alone 4, Taking Back the House. And it's bad, but you're not surprised at this point. Directed by Rod Daniel and screenplay by Steve I. Hayes and Deborah Frank. Starring Mike Wimberg as Kevin McAllister? Because the resemblance is just truly uncanny. With half of the rest of the McAllister family not even being in the movie, and the ones that are recasted. And the mom and dad are divorced in this one. Which was definitely set up in Home Alone 1 and 2. I could just feel the energy, you know? And also returning Marv. Yep. Definitely Marv. So since we didn't have a box office and got very, very bad critical reviews, of course it'd be the last Home Alone movie. Is why I wish I could say. Released in 2013, in October of 2013? I guess it's almost the second Christmas and Halloween movie. Just saying, I would totally watch Home Alone Halloween Town. Home Alone 5, The Holiday Heist is bad. Directed by Peter Hitwit and screenplay by Aaron Ginsberg and Wade... Yes. Starring Christian Martin and briefly featuring Ed Asner. That's just pretty cool. But in this one, there's a gamer. I mean, I can't say it about the rest of the Home Alone movies, so, there's that. But thankfully, we on to the last Home Alone movie, Home Sweet Home Alone, released on Disney Plus, because Disney bought Fox, in 2021. Which, yep, you guessed, it's pretty bad. But it does appear to have a budget, which is rare for this franchise at this point. And because this was streaming, it didn't make back anything. And got generally mixed reviews. Directed by Dan Mazer, and screenplay by Mikey Day. And as of now, at least, there's Home Alone movies in production. Hooray! Although I wouldn't be surprised if there was another one. So Home Alone is a franchise that is just straight up unnecessary. As I mentioned before, Home Alone is a one-done movie. But a quote from another blockbuster from the 90s might just be able to explain why Home Alone is a franchise in the first place.
Life, finds a way.
Home Alone was very successful. So was Home Alone 2. And while Home Alone 3 was a huge success, it still made back its budget. And even though the rest of these movies released to DVD, TV, streaming, whatever, the bargain bin exists for a reason. Some way, somehow, people buy the Home Alone sequels. And if there are people surrounded by the Home Alone name, then they will keep making Home Alone movies. So Home Alone is a franchise that, sadly, by all means, should not exist, but still does. So love the class, so what is it with this franchise? And how many of these movies have you actually seen? I hope not many of you have seen this entire franchise. That'd be torture. Bye, Christian now. Bye-bye, Scarlet Thacker.